I failed the test 2 times before I passed, okay? 2 times. I did the dirty work for you guys, and I'm here to share with you my tips and what my recommendations are for someone who's studying and trying to pass this test. What's up YouTube, it's Inez, and today's video is about the Georgia real estate exam, y'all. I just finished studying for the past 8 months and finally passed the exam. So I wanted to share some information with you guys because a lot of people don't talk about what really goes on in this exam and how you really need to study. So we're gonna start off in the beginning, back in October 2021. I'm gonna give you a brief overview of why I was taking this test, why I'm studying for this test, what I need it for, and then we're gonna go straight into the exam, how I studied, all that good stuff. Let's take it back to October 2021, y'all. Your girl got a new job. I am officially a property manager. One of the requirements for this job is to have a real estate license. So I'm not gonna be selling real estate or anything, but one of the requirements is that I have to be a licensed real estate agent. I decided that the best thing for me would be to go ahead and teach myself, skip the class experience, and take the course online at home. So I use Metro Brokers, and the name of the course is the Georgia Real Estate Sales Licensing Pre-License course, okay? There's a lot of different things out there and it can get kind of confusing, but you want to take the pre-licensing sales person's course. Mistake number 1 was not taking the class in person. I really wish if I could do it all again that I would go back, take the class in person, knock it out in 2 or 3 weeks, and be done with it. But because I decided to study at home, it took so much time, so much more time out of my life than I anticipated. For 6 months straight, I was studying every single Saturday, Sunday. My entire outside work life was dedicated to passing this test. I was pretty confident about studying for my license at home. And I felt like I was confident because I have a lot of experience in property management. I started off as a leasing agent, I've been in administration, I worked my way up to assistant property manager, and now I'm a property manager. So I have a lot of experience and I know the majority of the terms, but here's where the issue comes. They don't prepare you for how the test questions are written, okay? The test questions are written in a way that they force you to fully understand all of the terms, and you have to fully understand and conceptualize all of the content. So you can't just go in and be like, I know what a lease is. You know, I know what gross sales are. I know what condemnation is, I know what escheat is. No, you have to know the term, the definition, who can do it, who can't do it, when can you do it, when was it done, when was the last time it was done, when's it gonna be done again? Like, that's the depth that you need to go into when it comes to studying for this exam, and a lot of people don't tell you that. I thought, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll just memorize all the terms, you know, boom. No, you can memorize those terms, but you need to know everything about those terms. So my biggest tip to those people that are studying at home is don't do it. Just go to class, because it's gonna be a lot different when you have someone teaching you material versus you trying to learn material on your own. It's hard to be your own teacher. Even when you have experience, it's just really hard to be your own teacher. And I realized that once I got to the test, I was lacking that connection, like knowing what was gonna be on the exam, because I had no prior experience with taking this exam. If I had had an instructor help me, they would have given me a lot of like insider tips and things to look out for on the exam. I was just walking in blind-eyed, just like, hey guys, I'm ready for the exam, thinking I'm gonna pass the first time. No, I failed. So anyway, my biggest tip would be to go to class if you can. I knew that for me, it wasn't plausible because I had to go to work. I mean, I was working like 50, 60 hours a week, so there was no way I could go to a class after work. I just had to do this on my own time. And that worked for me, but whoo, if I could do it again, I would go to class, just knock it out and be done with it, because y'all, it's a lot. Okay, so let's jump right into my tips. Tip number 1, for those people that cannot make it to an in-person class to study for the exam, I would highly recommend getting a tutor. There's plenty of people out there that offer tutoring services, and they range anywhere between like $20 to $40 an hour. So I would highly recommend getting a tutor or doing like a cram session right before taking the test, so that you can really it just helps being in a group and having a teacher. I know that would have helped me, so highly recommend doing that. Oh, one of the best things that I found to help me study for this exam was YouTube. So there's a guy on YouTube called Real Estate University, or I think it's Real Estate U on YouTube. Oh my gosh. Wow, y'all, some days I would just sit and watch YouTube videos all day long about real estate. Just listening to people explain the concepts over and over again, you start to make connections, and it really helps. So one thing that I did was, on my way to work, I would watch YouTube videos and play them in the car. On my way home from work, I would play YouTube videos about real estate in the car, and that really helped to like cram all the information in that I needed, and it really helped to make sparks start flying. Like, just listening to the same video over and over again, you start to pick up different things, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's why this is that and this is that. So I would really suggest that if you don't have time to read or anything like that, do YouTube.
Hey guys, so I'm editing this video and wanted to mention something that I completely forgot about when I was recording, which is this book. It was so good. I got this from Barnes & Noble, and I think it was only about $20-30, but it is 200 pages plus a practice test. So practice tests based on every single chapter, every single category that you're going to get tested on, and written very closely to the way that the test is written. So highly recommend going out and getting this.
My next tip is just to be gentle on yourself with this process. A lot of people fail, you guys. Like, a lot of people fail and they don't talk about it. But I think that personally, if you don't have experience as like a lawyer, a leasing agent, you know, you've never worked in real estate, you don't understand any of the terms, it's gonna be hard. I highly doubt you will pass on the first exam, and I need you to just not have any expectations, because that was an issue that I had. I mean, I was so confident, and it knocked me on my butt when I failed. It's okay to fail. Like, they allow you to take the test over again, even though it does cost $120 every time you take the test. Keep that in mind. They allow you to take the test over again. It's okay, you can go at it again, and you don't lose until you quit. So that's my biggest tip for you guys, is don't give up. I kept going and going and going, and passed on the third try. So just know that it's not common to pass on the first try. I don't know where these people are that have passed on the first try. Actually, I know one person. Shout out to you, Shelby. I don't know how you did that. But yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. I really think that if you go to class, you have a much higher chance of passing. Another tip is that I'm pretty sure there's only 2 versions of the test. So I took the test 3 times. I took test A the first time, test B the second time, and on the third time, I'm pretty sure I took test A again, because I remember a lot of the same questions. So if worse comes to worse, there's always trial and error. You're gonna keep seeing the same questions, and go back and study those things. You know, go back and study the concepts that you missed. I wrote down certain questions during the exam, and I typed them on my phone once it was over with, went home and studied, and I kept studying and hammering down on the things that I didn't understand. So once I got back to the test, I was like, okay, I remember this question. You know, there were certain questions that I just had no idea how to answer, but I went back home, studied, came back, and I killed it. 3rd time, okay? I think that's why this test is such a big deal. It was a really big deal to me, because I taught myself. I didn't have a teacher. I did it on my own. My only teacher was YouTube. And the course that I took, it wasn't a live course. It was just clicking through a slideshow for 75 hours. And I taught myself, and it's a really big deal, and I'm really proud of myself. And I think that if you make it this far and you pass, you're a boss. Like, remember that. Remember your confidence. Remember who you are. Like, It's not easy, but you will pass. You definitely will pass if you keep going. So lastly, I just want to talk about the process of getting a license. So after you pass the test, you have to sign an affidavit. You have to have a sponsoring broker, which is the person that you're going to work under. Okay, and then you have to have, what else? Oh, $170. I think that's how much it costs to actually get the license. So make sure you got money on hand. If you're gonna be trying to take this test, another tip is make sure you have money. It's not cheap, and people don't tell you that, but I'm gonna run down the cost of what it took to pass this exam and get my license. My pre-licensing course for Metro Brokers was about $300. Then I took the exam 3 times. Each time you take the exam, it's $120. So we can add that up on the screen. And then in order to actually get your license, you need a background check. So that was $30. And the license fee, I believe, is $170. So imagine taking the test 4 or 5 times and all of those costs adding up. You're gonna need about $1,000. Y'all, so just keep that in mind, and I don't want you to go into it thinking, oh, I'm gonna pass the first try, I don't need any extra money. No, I mean, I still had to save my money through that process, give myself some time in between tests. So it took a long time. The whole process for me took over 8 months in order to get my license. So just be patient with yourself. But now that you have it, what happens is you have a year to take your post-licensing course. So you don't just get to keep the license, you still have to keep working. So there is a 25-hour post-license course, then you have to take 9 hours in your first year. And then I think it's every 2 or 3 years, you still have to keep taking courses. So, and these people charge for the courses, okay? That's gonna be another $300 or $400 to keep your license. So make sure you keep that in mind. And then of course, if you're actually going into selling real estate, you're gonna need some capital in order to start. I mean, obviously, depending on who your broker is, you're definitely gonna need some type of capital in order to get started. So just keep that in mind. Last thing I wanna say is that, you know, if you've never bought a car or bought a house or financed anything, this is going to be difficult for you, okay? I was in that category, y'all. This is gonna be tough, but just keep going. I promise you will get it at the end. You will understand. It'll all click, and once it clicks, you're gonna be non-stoppable. You can't stop you, okay? You're not gonna be able to be stopped once it clicks. So I just want to say good luck to everybody. If you want to drop any more tips, leave them in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. And lastly, I'm gonna show you my license. All right, y'all, here's my license. I'm gonna cover my name. This is what a license looks like. It's literally just a piece of paper that you pay $170 for, and you get to hang it up on the wall. They also give you a wall card, which you're supposed to give to your broker. And a lot of people don't know that you can only work for one company at a time. So you can't just go sign up for like ABC Realty and 123 Realty and XYZ Realty. Like, you can only work for one company at a time. So I am doing property management with my job, so that is where my license is held. But once I decide to move, or if I go to a different job or whatever, if I decide to go inactive, I need to contact the Georgia Real Estate Commission. It's a lot, y'all. You gotta like write them letters, and they have to, you know, return your license, and like it's a lot that goes into it. I'm not gonna explain it all. You guys can figure it out when you do your studying for your exam. But if you have any comments or want to know anything else about this process, drop it below in the comment section, and I will make another video gladly. You guys, it was a lot, y'all. This test was tough, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have anything else you want me to share, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.